This terrible case, which occurred in May of the 21st year, shocked the whole world with its cruelty. A 13-year-old girl was found murdered, and the police quickly came to the main suspect. When his identity became known to the public, people were shocked to the core. In this video, we will tell you what happened to Tristin Bailey and why this event keeps the whole of America in suspense to this day. Tristin Bailey lived in St. Johns County, Florida, a short drive from the major city of Jacksonville. The area where she lived with her family is very picturesque and expensive. It is surrounded by forests and strewn with dozens of ponds, which, coupled with the climate of the southern state, creates excellent living conditions. Tristin's parents had 5 children. The girl herself was distinguished by energy and purposefulness. She was a member of the cheerleading team of her school, had many friends and never lost her positive attitude. On Saturday, the 9th of May, 2021 year, Mother's Day was celebrated in the USA. Residents of the district were preparing to take part in the festivities, but this plan was not destined to come true. At about 10 in the morning, Tristin's parents contacted the police and reported that they could not find their daughter. Law enforcement agencies immediately began searching, and a few hours later issued an official statement about the disappearance of a 13-year-old girl. Hundreds of local residents joined the search, going to comb the streets and forests. Many of them were dressed in holiday suits and dresses, but this did not stop people. By this time, reporters had arrived at the scene, which also made it possible to convey information about the missing child to the general public. After 16 hours of searching, the police department called a press conference to announce the disappointing news. Bailey's body was found near a pond near Sleston Drive, not far from her own home. She was discovered by one of the locals, who saw a message about Tristin's disappearance and joined the search. In his statement, the sheriff did not disclose almost any details. He said that the police will continue to investigate, and urged journalists not to harass the family of the deceased girl at this difficult time. However, it soon became known that it was a murder. This news shocked the local community. In their prestigious neighborhood, crimes were rare, and no one could imagine such a thing at all. Hundreds of people gathered to support Tristin's family and honor her memory. Dozens of local residents also took recordings from surveillance cameras installed on their homes to the police. All they were thinking about was who could have done such a thing to Tristin. And these records really helped the police. On the morning of the 9th of May, Tristin was spotted on camera near the Durban Crossing Sports Center by an unknown person. Judging by his appearance, he was about the same age as the girl. He was wearing shorts, a light hoodie. The next recording, taken by a camera on Saddlestone Drive, captured them about half an hour later. They were moving towards the end of the street, which ends in a dead end and borders a wooded area. Almost 2 hours later, the same camera captured the same person. But 3 walls were no longer with him. He walked in the opposite direction, and there was something strange here. The man was carrying his shoes in his hands. The police quickly identified the man. It turned out to be 14-year-old Aiden Fucci, who studied at the same school with Tristin and lived near her. In addition, it was only a few minutes' walk from the place where the girl's body was found to Aiden's house. Detectives came to his house to ask him a few questions. They were most concerned about why he was walking down the street without shoes a few dozen meters from the scene of Tristin's murder. Aiden said that he rubbed his foot and decided to walk home without shoes. This explanation did not suit the police, and they received permission to search his house. There they found the clothes in which he was caught on camera next to 3. There were traces of blood on some things. On the 10th of May, the sheriff announced the arrest of Aiden Fucci. He was charged with second-degree murder. At that time, the police kept some details secret, and the public was in a state of mass shock. Could a 14-year-old child have done such a thing? Immediately after his arrest, Aiden posted a photo from a police car in a Snapchat. The boy took a selfie and added a creepy caption, "Guys, has anyone seen Tristin lately?" Everyone was shocked by such an act, because this message sounded like a mockery of the girl's death. For many residents of the area, this was confirmation that Aiden was really involved in her death. Soon, the police department reported that during the interrogation, Aiden changed his versions of what happened several times, which further convinced the investigation of his guilt. At the same time, detectives revealed extremely creepy details of Tristin's death. She was stabbed 114 times with a sharp object. This indicated that the crime was premeditated and planned. The killer was clearly preparing for this. The police could not find the guns in Aiden's house, but soon search teams found a knife at the bottom of one of the local ponds. Experts have established that it was used in the commission of the crime, but they were unable to take fingerprints from the handle. To link this crime to Aiden, the police needed more serious evidence than suspicious camera footage or strange behavior after the arrest. And soon they got them. For several days, experts in an accelerated mode studied the things taken by the police from the suspect's house. Traces of Tristin Bailey's DNA were found on Aiden's shoes and t-shirt. As a result, the police had a weighty set of evidence in their hands, which was already enough to transfer the case to court. However, in addition to this, the investigators managed to get a partial confession from the teenager. Aiden admitted that he and Tristin walked the streets together, and at some point a dispute arose between them. Then the young man pushed the girl, she fell and hit her head on the ground. After that, Aiden allegedly went home. As you understand, this version is far from reality, given the many contradictions. It is possible that this story was worked out by the suspect's lawyer, trying to reduce everything to a charge of manslaughter. But with such a set of evidence, it was almost impossible. After interviewing Aiden's classmates and friends, the police found out another extremely creepy fact. The teenager has repeatedly said that he plans to take someone to the forest and kill them. None of his acquaintances considered it necessary to inform his parents or the police about this. Everyone thought Aiden was just joking. It turned out that he openly talked about his plans. Given the fact that the crime caused a storm of indignation in society, the police and the court worked in an accelerated mode. Already on the 11th of May, the first court session took place. Due to coronavirus restrictions, it was held via video link. Due to the suspect's age, they wanted to try him on charges of second-degree murder. However, the brutality with which this crime was committed forced the judge to take a break for 21 days to make a very difficult decision. Should a 14-year-old boy be tried as an adult and charged with first-degree murder? The punishment varies greatly depending on the degree. But more on that later. At the trial, Aiden looked confused. He could be seen holding back tears with difficulty. Looking at such a spectacle, it is difficult to imagine that this 14-year-old boy is capable of creating such an inhumane crime. A week later, Aiden's lawyer asked to be removed from the case. He did not specify the reasons for this decision, but everything can be very obvious here. Not every lawyer can defend a monster with a calm soul. As a result, the young men appointed a free lawyer. Meanwhile, the public sent a petition to the prosecutor's office and the governor's office. People demanded that Aiden be tried as an adult, and replaced the charge with first-degree murder. In just a few days, more than 700,000 people signed this petition. On the 27th of May, the court made this decision. Aiden Fucci was decided to be tried as an adult on charges of first-degree murder. The commission adopted this decision unanimously. The prosecutor told reporters that no one had any doubts when passing the verdict, given the incredible brutality of what had been done. There are a few nuances here that are worth mentioning. The state of Florida has the death penalty, but it is imposed only on persons over the age of 18. Aiden is only 14. Therefore, the maximum sentence he could receive was a life sentence with the possibility of parole in 40 years. On the 29th of May, the first court hearing on the new charges took place. There he was only familiarized with the case and scheduled a final hearing for the 10th of June. Aiden spent all this time in a separate block of the adult prison. When a teenager is tried as an adult, he is necessarily separated from adult prisoners. I think there is no need to specify what such rules are related to. On the 4th of June, Aiden's lawyer sent a document to the court in which his client calls himself innocent. This meant that the court would have to prove his guilt, although no one doubted that the verdict would be guilty. The next day, the public was shocked by the terrible news. Aiden's mother is arrested on charges of tampering with evidence. On the 9th of May, when Aiden was taken away for questioning, his mother washed his clothes, on which traces of blood were found. The prosecutor told reporters that he would seek a real prison term for the mother. It is noteworthy that the police found out about the mother's actions thanks to the surveillance footage. It shows a woman washing things, although the quality of the video does not allow you to see the details. The court hearing on these charges will take place at the end of October 2021 year. As for Aiden himself, something strange happened to him. On the 1st of September, another hearing was held via video link. The young man suddenly started talking about demons. He asked where he was and what was going on around him. It looked as if the boy had gone mad. Inviting you to take a look at a fragment of this meeting yourself. Many considered this behavior to be feigned. If doctors recognize Aiden as mentally ill, he will have a chance to avoid a life sentence and, in the worst case, spend several years in a closed hospital. According to journalists, a forensic psychologist unrelated to Aiden's case gave his assessment of his behavior. The specialist noted that, in his opinion, the behavior of the suspect was not feigned. A notebook with satanic runes was also found in Aiden's cell, and his girlfriend told investigators that the young man had previously complained about voices in his head that urged him to kill someone. It all looked extremely doubtful. Why did Aiden behave normally for several months after his arrest, and one day suddenly stopped navigating in space, forgot where he was, and started talking about demons? His behavior really suggests that the young man is trying to avoid imprisonment. It is enough to recall his mocking selfie in a police car, where he openly ridiculed Tristan's death. Only a cold-blooded monster could do such a thing. Or did the voices in his head make this post for him? Of course, he was appointed a medical commission, which will make the final decision. If he's really pretending, what he's already managed to achieve. The trial is delayed for another month. The next meeting should take place only on the 28th of October. It is worth clarifying that at the moment there is no doubt that Aiden really killed Tristin Bailey. The whole question is about his motives. The fact that he was mentally unstable and acted on the orders of voices in his head is hard to believe. Most likely, the boy decided to try to avoid life in prison at all costs. The court is due to make a final decision very soon, and we will monitor this case. In the meantime, take care of yourself and thank you for watching.